Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So we are continuing with our video. So we had created an employees app. So we have a list of employees. You can add an employee and you can actually retrieve. So we are adding countries. We have a countries list. So in our previous videos, we completed adding a new country, but we did not populate the data. So if you click a new country, then we have KE, then we have here Kenya. So if you click that, this is how we had configured our app. So we have the data being saved. So this is our button and the data is being created. So you can see our data, we have the KE, then Kenya. Then if we continue, then we expect the data to be saved. Now the issue is we had not populated the data on our employees, that is the countries list. So the same way for the constituencies, we want to have a button to save them and locations and the rest. So for the countries, let us now do the population of the list. So to do that, let's go to our countries list. So our countries list, this is how we have arranged our view model. So go to definition, let's just proceed there. So our countries list. So here, I'll do public. So we have defined an observable collection, as you can see here, which will hold a list of our countries. So public void. So then we can say load countries. So this is our function. So in this function, we want now to load our countries that we are actually saving so that we populate them. So we can say countries, we can clear our list to ensure that we don't have any record. So you can say these countries and just do that. This is a function. So let's do that. So we want to retrieve the record. So I'll say variable all countries is equals to app.database. So remember this database that we are accessing, we had defined it on our app.xaml.cs. So we have our database here. So this is application DB context. We had defined our application DB context here, which actually holds our connection to the database and our tables. So if you are new to this channel, you can watch our previous videos to understand what is happening. So in our country, so we'll say database, then dot get table rows. So I had not shown you how we retrieve this data from our table. So come to our application DB context. I had shown you how you actually save data to our database using a generic create function. So this is how it looks like. So we'll be calling this function, then we pass our model, then it is able to insert the data to our database. So for the get table rows, I want to retrieve data from our table. So I've created this function. So this is a public list. Then we pass our model there. Then get table rows, we want to cast it to our model, then we'll pass our table name. So this is how it looks like. So table mapping, the namespace plus the table name, then the query will be select star from the table that we have. Then we want to return a list of our data. So one thing that I need you to modify on our app is how we define our database. So come to this is our database. So this is the namespace where our database is being stored. And another thing that I need to mention to you guys, ensure that you see my tables. My tables, I've actually moved them from the folder where we had stored them as models. So I've moved them to DB context. So I want my application DB context where I defined a database connection with my tables to be under the same folder. So ensure that is there, because if you don't do that, then you'll find some issues. So after that, I define my namespace. Just check on your app. So this is the namespace. Copy that, then paste it here, then put in a full colon. Then my database file name will be my namespace plus my plus db3. So this will actually define my database name. So you can actually do that. Then our database path will be, so you can modify this to be path combined, then app directory, then the database file name. Then you can actually now put these SQLite open flags to read, to create or open the database in a read-write mode, and to create the database if it doesn't exist, and to enable multi-threaded database access. So after that, then you come to our application DB context constructor. Then we have check if the database connection is null. Then we create our database. So we pass our path and the flags to open our database as a read write, and to create if it doesn't exist, then we have our tables. So ensure you have done this modification on your application DB context, so that when you'll get an error here if you don't actually do that. So you'll get an error for table mapping if you don't do that. So ensure you have your models under the same folder and you are using the correct namespace so that you're able to access the tables. So you're able to access the tables. So to get back to our list, come to our view model. So this is how we are doing it. So we are at countries list. So we'll say app database.get table rows. Then we pass our model. So that is our table. So this is our model. Then do that. Then put in a string. Then the name of our table. The name of our table is a country. So we do that. Then we can say to list. So we want the list of all the countries. So after we have done that, what we can do, we can actually do, we want now to append these, all the countries that has been retrieved to our countries list observable collection. So what I'll do is just copy the countries list. Then we say add range. So you can actually have this as observable range. Let's just have it as observable collection. Then we can have a for each here. Let's just do for each. We say country, the country in all countries. So for each of these records, we want to add each of the item to our countries list. Remember, we had cleared the list here. So we'll do now add, then country. So after we have done that, so we are expecting this list of data to be on our countries collection. So after we have done that, we now need to call this function whenever we load this page. So we can have it here. So we can call these, we load countries whenever we access this. So we can actually have it on our constructor. So after we have done that, then we have our list of countries on our observable collection. We need to bind this list on our collection list. So come to our views, then countries. So we need to ensure that you have actually have the countries. Ensure this name, collection view item source binding countries list is the same as this name of your collection, so that you're able to retrieve the items. Then now after that, the label, you provide the code and the name. So the code and the name is the exact label that you have on your model or your database. That is the code and the name. So I think that is how it is, and this is how our MAUI program.cs file looks like for those who are new to this channel. Then our countries list, now we have our countries list. So if we just launch our app, let's put in a breakpoint here. We see how it will retrieve our records. So let's wait and see. So our app is launching. So if you're new to this channel, guys, consider subscribing so that you promote our videos. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and recommend down below in case you have any suggestion about .NET MAUI. So we'll be doing a series of videos about .NET MAUI, and we actually encourage you guys to provide some suggestions. So our video is loading. So our video is loading there. So let's see how it is. So there we are. So if we go to countries, so we can see it is now loading our data breakpoints. So we can step over. Then you can see all the countries. So we have a list of 3 countries. So we have been saving, and you can see we have TZ, ID is 2, Tanzania. Then we have KE1, Kenya. That was our first country to submit. Then KE3, Kenya. So it will actually add all our list to this section. So you can see it is adding the first country. So if we just omit this now and proceed, we should expect a list of countries. You can see, so we have actually retrieved all the countries from our app. So if we add another country, we say UG, Uganda. If we save it, you can see we want now to have a redirection. So if you save the data, we want it to redirect to the list page. So what we need to do, we need to now specify the route where we want our pages to be redirected after we save the data. So you can see if we add another country like SA, South Africa, Africa. So if we save it, it is actually saving the record, but it is not actually now giving us where to redirect our page. So to redirect our page, we'll come to our add view model, add new country page view model. So this is our button. So you can see after we have added the list here, we want after the message, after you receive the success message, then we want to redirect this to our list page. So how do we do that? So we'll say await, then we say shell dot current dot go to async, then do that. So sorry. So let's say go to async, then this is a function, then put in that, then we want to specify the navigation. So we'll do that, then inside here you open, then we'll say name of, then we'll provide the list of our page. So the list of our page is the name of the countries list. So we'll copy that, then we paste it here. We say countries list. So that is it. Then we can close it here. So you can see, so it will now redirect this to our list page after saving. So redirect to our list page. So if we try again, let's try, we see when we save another country, whether it will redirect to a list page. So let's see, our app is loading. There we are. So if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. We can see we have our countries. So these are our pages, you can see. So if we add another country, we say which country are, say Algeria. So if we save this, if we click OK, it should actually redirect us to the list. Something went wrong. So you can see relative URL to shell elements is currently not supported. Try fixing your URI with. So something is wrong with our navigation. So let's go back to it. So here, what we need to do, we can actually do something. Let's do this. So copy this. Then we can say here, instead of doing that, we can actually do that. Then we can actually do that. Then 2 colons, two full stops. So put this. Then we try again. Let's try that. If it will actually redirect to our list page. There we are. So if we do this, country. You can see our country is there. So we can add another one. RW, we say Rwanda. So these are not the real codes, guys. So if I save it, you can see it has actually taken us back to our list. So we can actually do this so that we can be able to get back to our list. But I'll show you guys how we can navigate with a parameter to a certain page. So that is what we'll be doing on our next video. So to proceed with the video, so we can actually create now the other pages for the constituencies. So this is our add. So we can copy the one from country. So we'll just copy this. So this is how our page look like. For those who are new to this channel, consider subscribing and liking our video. So you'll say this is add new constituency. So then under the constituencies now, we need to create the view model. So we'll come here, ensure you create the view model that actually resembles your page so that you don't get confused. So we can say view model. So that's how I usually do. You can actually recommend if you have any good approach. So do that. So this is our view model. So I'll create a constructor public. Do that. Then I'll do that. So this is our constructor. Then I need to bind this. So I can actually copy what is there on our add new page. So I'll copy this. Can actually, let's just type it. So I'll say public. So I'll copy my view model for the constituency. Then I'll do that. Then view model. So currently, because we have actually created some of the things, guys, so it will be easier for us now to replicate the rest. So employees app dot. So we'll say view models. So it will now have that. Then you can have it here and we say model. You can also have it here. We say these dot bind context is equals to model, and you can also assign it to view model as well. So I'll show you why I'm defining the above view model, this one, when we will be dealing with other things. So currently we have done that. So on our add page, we can actually copy what we have done for the country. So I'll just copy this, then come to add new constituency. I'll do that. Then I can say add new constituency. Then I'll say I can have this as constituency. So this is then I can say constituency details. So then I'll copy this here. Then I can have this as a partial. Then I can have this as the observable object. Observable object. So that is it. So this is our country's details. So here we need to actually initiate it. So we'll say new, then you can say new, then you say country, constituency. This is actually constituency. So we'll do that. Then this is our button. So then constituencies, so will be is const data. So I'll define that here. The best thing about now global create, guys, you can see I'm using a global create to actually save still the data. So I'll just be passing the model. So here I'll say constituency. So I prefer having this than creating independent service. So I'll say also country not save something with the constituency details. So this is just what so you can actually do away with this. So I'll change my command on our add new constituency. So this will be add new constituency command. Then the details will change. It will be now constituency details. So I'll come here, I'll say constituency details, constituency details, then ensure that the name, the binding of the entry code is exactly what is there. So you can see this is country and this is name. So another thing, guys, now that is coming up from this section. So when we are saving the constituency, I need to have I need to tie constituency with the country. So I'll come to constituency, add new constituency. Then I need to select the country that is where that constituency is. So we'll say the country name. So this will not be entry. So let's change this first, constituency. Then we placeholder is constituency. We change this to constituency, then this to constituency. Then we save constituency. So now I want to have a picker to select the countries list from what we had saved, guys. So this is interesting. So if we just do picker, so I'll do that. So I'll do away with this. Let me do away with this. So I'm defining a picker. So I'll close. Then inside here, I'll say X name of my picker. I'll say this is countries. So that is the name of my picker. So I need to define the item source where it will be selecting the picker. That is the list of countries that I need to select and tie it to constituency. Then selected item. So I need to also know the selected item that has been selected by the user when now doing that. So before we proceed or do anything, we now need to define something. So come to our add new constituency. So I want you to define our collections of, I need us to define a collection of countries. So I'll just come to countries list. We can copy this collection, then come to our countries page. I mean the constituencies page. Then we can paste that. Then we can say countries list. So we can leave it as it is. So this is the list of countries. We need to populate these countries when now loading creating our constituencies. So first thing that we need to do, we need to actually define a selected country. So we'll say public, then this will be country. Then I can say selected country. This is the country that the user will be selecting. So then I will say, inside there, I'll say get, then set. So I want us to do something. So I'll define I'll come here and say public. Then I say country. I'll say country. Then I'll say underscore selected country. So I want us to do that. Then when you come down here, after we have done that, I want us to define, we say get, then we do this. We want it to give us the selected country. So then we say set. So set, then we do that. Then we can actually say if. So we say if underscore selected country is equals to null, then we say is equals to value. Let's do that. Then return. Then we after return we say underscore selected country is equals to the value. So guys, when we select a country, this is what we will want our country to be tied here for the country that we have selected. So come to our add new constituency. Under selected item, just do binding. So we'll say here binding. Then paste in the name that you have done. So we can also do a comma, then say mode. We want it to be two-way. So we can actually auto-detect what the user has done. Then the item source, we want the item source to be a list of all the countries. So our item source will be the countries list. So come to copy that, then come to add new, then we say binding. So we'll say binding, then countries, we can also do mode, then two-way. So that is what is there, guys. So after we have done that, we can actually play, we have the title. We can have the title of our select. So we'll say title, sorry, should be inside here. So we'll say title should be select country. So let's see. So after we have done that, so we need to load the countries. So we need to load the countries when we open the page. So come to our, remember we have not added the countries here. So we need to have all the countries list on our collection. So what we need to do, we need to pre-populate all the countries here. So we'll come to our constructor, then we say we can actually load countries. Let's do this. We can copy what was there on our countries list. So come to our countries list, then we can copy this. So come to add new country. Then if we paste this here, so it will actually, sorry, it should not be here. It should be under add, constituencies. There we are. So you can copy this here. So you can see load countries. So we want to load the countries and actually save the countries list on our observable collection. So we'll be having our countries on our observable collection. So if we do that, we expect now our list to be having countries, and we have actually mapped it. So it seems there is an error. Can't remove this. We have actually mapped it to our constituency countries list here. So after we have done that, when we are saving our data and add new constituency here, we need to assign the constituency a country ID. You can see on our constituency table, we want a country ID. You see here, we want our country ID. So what we need to do, we need to tie it to when we are saving it. So come here, then you'll say, and maybe we want to have, so we can say if we say selected dot, we can actually say if selected is equals to null. So we want to ensure that the user actually saves data, actually selects the country. Then we can actually give an alert. We say select country, say, then we can say please. So you can have here an error, please select country. Then okay, then we can actually return so that they don't, it doesn't proceed. Then if this is not null, then down here we can say our const data. So we want to assign the ID to our country. So we'll say const data dot country ID will be equal to selected country dot ID. Then we now save our data. So that is how it is, guys. So we can actually test now so we can put in here then we can launch our app. We see how it looks. So we have actually added a picker on our page. So you can see we have a picker for countries. So let's see how our app looks like. So our app is launching. So if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing and watching our previous videos. So if you subscribe, guys, you actually make us able to reach more people. So, and if you also have some comments, you can comment down below. So if you come to constituencies list, so we can create a new button. Something went wrong. So we add not, so we actually, you can see unable to resolve service for type, add new constituency view page while attempting to activate it. So what we have not done After we created our view model, we were supposed to register it under MAUI program.cs. So come to view models, then we actually register it. So this is builder.services.add transient. Then we can add our view model here. So that is it. So then we can do that. So that is fine. So we can relaunch our app. We see if everything goes well. So this is how our app looks like for those who are new. So we, after completing these videos, for those who want the source code, we'll be sharing the source code, and we'll actually be checking if you have subscribed. So subscribe, guys, if you want the source code. So let's see if our video is loading. So there we are. So if you come to constituency, then we'll say new. Can see it has now taken us to add new constituency. So we have the country name, which will be a picker. You see we have our placeholder, select country. Constituency code should be the code where we will save the code, then the constituency name. So if we click on select country, we are supposed to be getting the list of countries, but you can see it is not giving us. So let's see what is the issue. So come to our add new constituency, then add new constituency page. So there we are. So if we click load countries, what happens? So let's see. So if we go back to countries, then we come back to constituencies, then new. So you can see, let's see if it is giving us the list of, you can see you have 7 countries. So there we are. So it is actually adding them. So I think the issue is on our collection. So we can actually change this to observable. So change this to observable, then range collection. So change that to observable range collection. So we'll do that. So let me just stop this. So we can actually use MVVM. So I'll do away with this. So there we are. So change this to observable range collection. Then we can actually do away with this one. Instead of doing a for each here, we can actually do countries list dot add range. So it will actually replace anything that is there and with the new values. Then we can do away with this. Then ensure that we have our countries list is the exact name, and the new constituencies is actually our item source. So I think that is fine. So if we just proceed, let's see if we have binded everything, then that is so. I can actually do, let's do this. Yes, should be this way. Let's do that. So that this is assigned. So if we launch our app, let's see how it will look. So we have actually changed something here. So we have changed this to observable range collection. Then the others is fine. So let's see. So our app is launching. For those who are new, remember to subscribe and like the video. So let's see how our app will look like. So come to countries, constituencies, new. So it is also doing that. Then you can see we have 7. That's fine. So if we click select, you can see it is giving us a list of employee, then country. So we need to get the, we need to have these as a, we need to have these as the data. So let's see what is wrong with our countries list. So if we do that, come to our add new constituency, then we have not displayed something. So the issue now is, come here and we say item display binding. We want to show the name of our country. So we'll say item name display binding, then we'll say binding, then we say so here we'll put in the name. So just type in the name. So it will give us the name of the countries. So if we do that, so this is how the picker looks like. So we'll proceed. So our app is launching. Let's see how it looks like. So let's see. It's taking some time to load. So that is fine. So come to constituencies, then new. So let's remove this breakpoint. Then select country. You can see now, select country, Kenya, Tanzania. So this is the list of countries that we have. So if I select Tanzania, then I say constituency code is TZ. Then I say Tanza. So if I save, you can see this is our breakpoint on the saving button. So if we proceed next, our countries list here, you see it is having the code that we had already indicated and the name. So we don't have the country ID. So the country ID, we should actually get it from our selected country. So our selected country, you see, is Tanzania with an ID too. So if we, you see, it has actually jammed our check here because it is not null, and it has actually assigned ID 2 with our data. So if we proceed, if you check const data, it will be having now the TZ, the country ID, which is 2, ID, which is the primary key for the constituency table, is 0, which will be auto-incremental. Then the name is Tanza. So if we save that, we should be able to, you can see the constituency details successfully submitted. So, and it has taken us to our list page. So we can now save another country. Do that, then we say Kenya, we say Nai, then we say Nairobi, then we actually save. So this actually doesn't represent the actual constituencies, guys. So it is just meant for testing purposes. So our constituencies, you can see we don't have a list of data. So we can actually borrow what we had done for the countries, come to a countries list, then our constituencies list, I think we had binded it to our view model. You can see you have the view model. So we can copy the data that we have done for countries list. So we'll copy this, then come to our constituencies list, then we can add it here. So this will be load constituencies. Then here we have these as constituencies. Then here we can now add our constituencies here. So we can actually also change this to observable range collection. And we can do away with this. Then we can do this also. That is fine. Then we are actually using MVVM helpers. So ensure you install that. Then we can do away with this. Then do that and add range. Then it will be, this is now, we are retrieving constituencies. So we'll change this here. Then the name of our table, we'll pass that. So I'll show you how you can actually filter some record from a table. So all constituencies, we can replace that here. Then we need to bind our constituencies to our list here. So we had actually done that. So these are the constituencies. We want to retrieve the code, and we can actually add another. So we have the code and the name. So let's see that first. Then I'll show you something small. So after we have done that, so let's see. So that is saving. So our app is launching. So we come to constituencies. You can see it has given us 2 constituencies. So if we create another one, we say South Africa, SA, say southwest, southwest. Then we save. It has saved successfully, and you can see it is not it has not given us the list. So let's see what is wrong with our constituencies view model. So we come to constituencies view model. So it's supposed to load the constituency. So we should clear that, then we replace it with this one. So let's see if we come back, go back, then return. Let's see how many constituencies are there. Then let's add another one, say Rwanda, then Rwandin. So that is fine. So this is so let's try something. Let's try that. We will launch and see if it will give us the list of all the constituencies. So because we are retrieving it, so let's see. So subscribe, guys, if you're watching this video, and you can comment down below. So constituencies, you can see it as we have it there. Then you can see we have 4 of them. So we should actually expect 4 of them. So you can see. So there is something that is happening. So when we save data, we are not, it is not refreshing. So what we need to do, let me show you something small that we actually need to do. So on our constituencies list XAML page, so under CS, I need us to define something. So I want us to do here, let's do protected override, say override void, then we say on appearing. Then if you enter, this is what will happen. Then we say if, then binding context, so that when we save data, we just retrieve and binding context. We don't have to figure out where is our data. So we say is, then we put in the view model, then we press enter. Then inside here, we say, so this one you can give it a name. We say binding context. So I'll say this binding context. Here, inside here, I'll say binding context dot on appearing. So I'll say on appearing. So that is fine. This is this should be binding context. Then that is it. Then I'll say binding context on. Let's say dot on appearing. Sorry. So let me just copy these. Then I'll do that. Then what I need to do that. So let's see if there is something wrong here. So then I need to define something else. I need to say protected void override. You can say override, then void, then on disappearing. So that is it. So I need to do something here. So I'll say view model. You see this view model that we are defining here. So I'll come here and say view model dot. I can actually load some of the data that is there. So I can say dot load constituencies. So I can call this function. Then here I can also clear, say view model dot constituencies list. I can clear it. So this is when you open and close the page. So something that we need to do, I want us to modify something on our, so I want us to create a class called, so if you come here on our class, we don't have another view model. So I want us to create a view model. Then we can call it local. Let's just call it, can call it local, call it local base view model. Then if you press enter, so you can have it as public. So this local base view model, I want us to define, can say, I want us to define that public. So you can have it, can have a constructor here, say public, then do that, then close it. Then outside the constructor, we can have public, then you say virtual void, then I want us to define on appearing, then you do that. So then you actually leave it as blank. Then we want to do also on disappearing, disappearing. So that is it. So after we have done that, I want us to do something small. So I want us to do something here. So I want us to do I notify. So just do I notify property change. Then inside this, so that is it. Then we can define something small at below here. So you can do, can say public prop event, public event property change event handler, then property change. Then we can say protected virtual void. So you can say protected, let's do this, protected virtual void on property chain. Then inside here we can say, can put this, then you can say color member name. Then you can now have the string. So you'll say string property name is equals to empty. Then inside we'll say variable. So we'll say variable change is equals to property change. Then you can say if changes is equals to null. Then what do? We return. Then if that is not the case, we say changes dot invoke. So then we say this. So it had actually given me. So you say this tab. So you say this new property event args. Then we pass in the property name. So I need you to define this. So this is a local view model. So come to our now constituencies view model. I want us to do that. Then we do that from our view model. So that is it. Then come to our also on our countries. So we can also remove these and we can do that. Then you can change this to observable range collection. Then you can have these as observable range collection. Then we can also leave this as it is. It doesn't have an impact. So if we come to our constituencies list, we should this error should have gone. So you can see the error is gone, and we can actually copy now this to our countries list. We have it here. Then you can now have these as countries model. Then here will be load countries. Then you can clear countries list. So after you have done that, guys, you can now launch our app. We see how it looks. So that is our app launching. So you can subscribe, guys, if you're new to this channel, or comment down below. So you can now see that our data, when you save our data, we don't have to relaunch our app. Automatically, when you save the data, then you're able to see the data automatically. So that is how we should be able to do it. Then let's see how it works on our app. So let's test it, we see. So if we come to constituencies, so let's do away with this one. So this is it. So if I click new, then I say select Uganda, then I say chorus, then I say chorus. So this is the name, you can say chorus. So this is the name of our constituency and this is the country. If I click save, so it should actually take us to the list and we should be able to see these chorus kind of a constituency. So if I click OK, you can see it has automatically given us the data without us actually struggling. So if you just click here, save the data, Kenya, you say Kwanza, then you say Kwanza. It should actually, if we just save, it should save. If we click OK, it should actually give us the constituency name. So for today, guys, that is our video. So we'll be doing now more videos about, we'll be proceeding with creating the locations, sub-locations, and villages. Then we do a cascading drop-down list when we'll be saving our employees' data. Then I'll also show you guys how you can actually, instead of having this in a collection view, then you can have it in a data grid. So that is it for today. Remember to subscribe and see you in our next video. Bye.